welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, my name is Yolanda, or Yolanda in the City, on TikTok and Instagram. And on my channel I make videos about DIY projects, thrift flips, small chest positivity, and vlogs. So if you're into that, I would consider subscribing, but if you're not, it's okay. Today I'm going to be turning myself into Maddie Perez from Euphoria episode 1 of season 2. As you guys may know, the second season came out on Sunday and I was obsessed with Maddie's look, so I decided that I would recreate her entire look. I bought this dress at the thrift store a few weeks back and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do with it, but I figured it would be the perfect fabric to make Maddie's dress with. Now, this original design is by a designer that I'm going to put down here. He is a Mexican designer based in Los Angeles, and I love that Euphoria is working with him. So go ahead and check him out and give him a follow. I just wanted to give credit where it's due, just so you guys know that this dress that I'm recreating today is designed by this person here. I'd also like to mention that I am not a professional fashion designer, and everything that I'm going to show you in this video is self-taught. If you guys have other techniques or a better way of sewing things, go ahead and do that. Please don't judge my sewing skills. I'm a beginner and I'm still learning. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Since the dress that I was flipping had a regular scoop neck and Maddie's dress had a mock neck, I used a black mock neck that I already had in my closet as a reference. I also had to buy black stretchy fabric for the gloves since I wasn't going to have enough leftover fabric from the dress. I started off by cutting a straight line right below the armpits to cut off the neckline from the dress. Next, I folded the dress in half so I would be able to cut the outline of the new mock neck using my shirt. Using the excess fabric, I cut the edges to make a rectangle I could use as the neck. I'm not going to provide exact measurements for this just because since I used a dress that was already made, I kind of just eyed everything, so I don't have exact measurements. I get a lot of questions on Instagram about how I learned how to sew and how I am able to create all of these things, but as you can see here, I kind of just use clothes that I already have and try to replicate them. That's honestly how I work. I don't ever use exact measurements, and when I'm not sure if something's gonna fit, I just put it on my body. That's how I kind of work. Here I turned the dress inside out and I pinned the shoulders of the dress and sewed them down. Then I turned the dress back over so the right side was facing out, and I lined up the raw edges of the mock neck with the top panel of the neckline of the dress, and then I pinned it down all around. Then I sewed down all of the edges to secure the neck. Here I cut off the excess fabric from the neck. Next, I turned the dress inside out once again so I could pin down the side since I wanted the dress to fit tight. And then I sewed down where I placed my pins. Then I cut the excess fabric from the sides of the dress. I wanted the sides of the dress to have slits, so I folded in the bottom edges of the dress and sewed that down. To make the perfect cutout in the center of the chest, I took a piece of paper, folded it in half, and drew out the shape I wanted. After cutting out the shape, I used a random piece of fabric and I cut a small square where the shape would fit, and I kind of just traced the shape with some fabric chalk onto the fabric. Here I cut the excess fabric from the shape. Then I took my dress and I took that piece of fabric with the shape drawn on it, and I placed that piece of fabric where I wanted the hole to go. By the way, this isn't the correct way to make a cutout on a garment. There are many tutorials on YouTube on how to do it correctly. I'm going to link one in the corner so you can tap on that. But this is kind of just how I wanted to do it. I didn't have all of the materials needed to do a correct cutout, so I just kind of did what I could. And the reason that I ended up sewing that piece of fabric to the dress was because I wanted to get a stitch around the circle so that it wouldn't unravel later on. So after I sewed on that piece of fabric, then I just took my scissors and I cut out the fabric inside of the shape. Here I folded my dress in half and I made one cutout on the sides of the dress. My camera died, so I couldn't show the whole process, but then I cut out the back as well because that's how the original was. Then from here I pretty much took all of my raw edges and I folded them in about a 1/2 inch and I ran it through my sewing machine. Next, I took the other fabric that I bought for the gloves and I folded that in 4 times. So it was 4 pieces of fabric layered on top of each other. And then I used my hand pattern. I'm going to link a video in the corner of how to make gloves or how to make a glove pattern, but I pretty much just traced my hand onto some paper and I added a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the entire thing, and that's how I made my pattern. So then I just pinned down the pattern onto my fabric and cut all around. Since Maddie had fingerless gloves, I just cut off the fingertips off of the pattern I had just cut out. So since we layered the fabric 4 times, then you should be left with 4 pieces of your gloves. So then you're just gonna pair them and pin the edges and then just run the edges all through your sewing machine, but not the fingertips, obviously. And this is how it should look when you're done. We are moving on to the makeup portion of this video. I'm starting off with a bare face, and I'm going to be referencing this photo of Alexa Demi. I found this photo on one of her fan pages, and it's a close-up of the makeup that they did on her for that episode. It's a very like drastic cat eye, which I think should be fairly easy. I'm not that great at makeup, but I'm confident that I can pull this off. Like I said, I'm not a makeup guru. I'm not the best at makeup, but we're gonna try our best. So I'm gonna get some of that silver shadow. Okay, I just found this eye tint that's literally silver, which I feel like I should have used instead. We are going to go in with the eyeliner. Okay, I'm gonna use this black eyeshadow and this Okay, now moving on to the hair. My hair is very dirty. Okay, so I'm just now realizing that Maddie had a headband. You know those Y2K headbands that are like, have like zigzags, and then you put it on and it creates this like zigzag illusion. Have one of those. It would be so much easier if I did. Since I don't, I feel like this elastic thing that I'm doing is gonna work, but I am going to take a little bit of hair off of here and make it closer to my forehead. Now that we have these front strands here, I'm going to separate my hair into 1/2 inch sections, one by one, and secure an elastic band at the top. I know I look freaking crazy right now, but trust the process. So basically now I am going to straighten my hair. So my camera died, but I basically just straightened all of my hair, and then I pinned down those crazy hairs with bobby pins, and I placed my hair over it so you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, you guys, that concludes the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I honestly had the hardest time with the keyhole cutout. I know I didn't do it correctly, but I feel like I did the best with what I could, and I'm honestly so pleased with the way it turned out overall. It's super similar to the original. Let me know down below what you guys want me to create next, and I will see you in my next video.